before you ever thought of leaving your spouse, you must be willing first to leave your Egypt, the old mindset that has enslaved you in this relationship. Often, when I have met these clients, they come and say, I've made my decision. I'm going to walk away to this marriage. Fun enough, it might be a coincidence that majority of them that have come and told me that, I'm like, okay, is this the first time you've ever been in a position where you had to walk out of a marriage? About 90 something percent of them, they will say, no, 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 this is my second or this is my third marriage. I said, so you went through the first divorce because something was not right and you walk away from it. You also entered a second marriage. And in that second marriage, miraculously, certain things were not working again. And guess what? You walk away from it. So I'm thinking, you didn't learn the first time. You didn't learn the second time. How is that so? And it's not mean that the person is a bad person, because statistics informs us that very clarity. First time divorce rate, average, 4 out of 10 people who are married for the first time, 4 of them will go through a divorce. It's a very sad number. Of course, there are some other sad statistics that are even graver than that, but just the idea people are getting married, and out of 10, 4 of them will be divorced. It's very, very depressing. But that's the reality. But it gets even worse. Out of that, those people, that four of them, they will get remarried. About 70% or 80% of them will remarry. Out of that, who are remarrying for the second time, about 10 out of 6 of them will be divorced. I mean, 6 out of 10 will divorce. So the number gets higher the second time, and it gets even higher the third time. In fact, the third marriage people, 7 out of 10 will be divorced. I have an old friend, very well respected man of any caliber and you could ever meet. He's hardworking, he's determined, he's God-fearing, he's committed, and he provides, he takes great pride. He is an amazing man. In his first marriage, things didn't work out in the 11th hour of their marital life. So a divorce came about, and he was very devastated by the fact that he had to go through a divorce with his first wife, because he took great pride and he did an amazing job. He didn't cheat, it's just things didn't work out. It's a different story of why they didn't. So he decided, you know what, I'm going to get married the second time. And the second time, things were amazing. He decided to change certain things that he assumed, or he might have been told, were the cause or added to the fallout he had experienced on the first marriage. Funny enough, the same happened. It wasn't that long, the second marriage also started having some holes, and things fell apart. So you wonder, this man, he is right in every aspect, meaning that he does what every extraordinary man does. He's an extraordinary man by any means. But he could not keep the first and the second marriage. And so he decided not to try again. He said, no, and people say the third time is a charm. I don't even want to go to the third time, because then what am I doing? He got frustrated. He said, I'm not going to try. It's frustrating. He stopped. And it makes sense, because he didn't want to tarnish his reputation any further. He have already been in 2, which have stole so much, have taken so much that he built from the first marriage. But regardless, many people like him are going through these painful experiences not knowing why. And that's why we're talking about this concept. Before you decided to walk away, first and foremost, You gotta be willing to let go of the Egypt that have kept you captive. In my book, The Exodus Within, and every other sequel that follows, Love Held Hostage, Unbound, and many others that have come that have offshoot from that very simple, basic book, I would encouraging you to go and get a copy of it. It's available in Amazon or any other stores online. The Exodus Within. How to set free from mental bondage. There are some other people who have a book that called Exodus Within, but that's not that book. If anything, must make sure that the one you're buying, it is by Alpha Mshihiri. If you cannot pronounce or write to my last name, just Alpha, A-L-P-H-A. That is the book you want to get. In that book, I narrate, but most important, I elaborate this story of the children of Israel from Canaan to Egypt and out of Egypt back to Canaan. Canaan is a promised land. And this circle that these children of Israel experience is a circle that we all do. We're always going to leave Canaan, a promised land, at some point to a sustainability space called Egypt, where we're going to sustain ourselves, where we're going to go and find better. We're going to go and find grain of life as the children of Israel were about. But in that place, if we don't know how to work with Joseph, we're going to be enslaved by Pharaoh. And therefore, when we find ourselves enslaved in Egypt, we must exit Egypt and enter back into the promised land that we were before. And this idea of marital divorce and everything else, it's a very beautiful picture there. Because you were a single person in Canaan. You lived freely. You enjoy life. You were vibrant, whatever the case may be. You had the freedom as a single person. But you heard of grain available in Egypt. You became hungry of a permanent union, hungry for children under a particular agreement, hungry for some sort of a belonging, hungry to fulfill what you think society needs you to, or hungry to fulfill God's plan. Whatever it is, there was a hunger inside of you that brought you to what is Egypt, your marriage. A marriage is a place of limitation. It has constraint because it's no longer you, but two of you sharing one another. If you didn't know how to share yourself to yourself, marriage can be even more complicated because now you have to learn to share yourself to another where you couldn't even share yourself to yourself. And that is the biggest problem people have. But then you hear that in Egypt there is grain for sale, meaning that in a marriage there is this fun thing. Marriage is this, marriage is that. And your parents or whatever the society put pressure and you say, I gotta go to Egypt. And so you end up being in Egypt. But the reason you went in Egypt is because of a curiosity. There was a curious element in you. There was commitment in the early days. And that commitment, that curiosity level is what in the book I called Joseph. It's Joseph, it means progressive, that which is progress. But Joseph is a dream interpreter, but also wears a jacket of many colors, meaning that is the ability to imagine, to be curious. Wow, look at my baby. I look at my wife and I'm like, oh my God, look at how beautiful she is. I don't care whether she just woke up in the middle of the night. I would go and say that it doesn't cost me a thing because indeed in my mind she's that beautiful. You might say, oh man, Alpha, you're just blind. That's your problem. I would rather be blind and call her beautiful because I'm getting beautiful things from her than you who think you're wise and refuse to give compliment, to speak well, to give due that which you need to have from your spouse. And you think you're a realist and you are not at peace. That's okay. I will be blind and keep calling my baby, my beautiful wife, beautiful, amazing, sexy. And he and she is giving me the most beautiful things in life. And she gives me the same compliment. So if she's blind, two blind of us, we are describing the best of each other and we are enjoying the best there is. And you who's with eyes to see, I don't know what you're seeing, and you're speaking that which is real to you, and you're in miserable state. So if you're comfortable with your misery, then it's okay. But if you're not, I have something to share with you. So you left singlehood in search of a union, meaning, connection, intimacy, togetherness, and all these. Give them the name you want to give, but you came here in this marriage for those things. But in that space, it can be beautiful if you live in Goshen and Joseph is alive. Meaning that if you are still interested, you're still curious about your spouse, and you're not only that you are curious, but you make that curiosity your permanent state of mind. So it is said you live in Goshen because you're constantly, just when you see your spouse, you're like, oh my God, now I know why I fell in love for the first time. Oh my God, I don't care what the person is wearing, a rag, is wearing something. So, oh my God, I understand why I fell in love with this fella. She's an amazing. I mean, she's beautiful. Look at him. He's so funny. He walks, he's confident, even though he walks wobbling, but you see confidence in the wobbleness. That's difference. You are speaking life to the person instead of agreeing to the pain you are seeing. Oh, look at him. Look at, he's digging his nose. He's nasty. I look at my wife and say, you're digging your nose? Oh my God, baby, you're looking cute. She's like, what? I'm like, you're looking so beautiful. The way you just you put your finger in your nose. Oh my God, baby, you just make me feel like, and I'm going and hug her. Guess what? It makes me feel warm. It makes her feel warm. The disgustness of one picking their nose. I pick my nose like crazy. Actually, I have a scar here because I'm always doing something with my nose. She never see it as a disgusting thing. I don't take stuff and all of no, but I just like to do something with my nose. I have a scar because I move my nose a lot. It's a habit. There's nothing that is just a habit. And when I'm in a camera, I'm very conscious of it. So I don't do it. But when I'm not, I do it. I don't know why. But regardless, she doesn't see it as disgusting. And she'll come and say, you see what, you have a scar here, honey? Oh, it looks so cute. I don't know how a scar that you can't really see, but you have to come and look at it. It's a cute thing. But it makes me feel different. I'm not longer feeling ashamed when I need to do something with my nose in front of her. I wash my hands after that, or she will give me, but she makes it feel natural. She speaks life to me in a moment that somebody else will look at it and say, what's wrong with him? She speaks life every single time, and I do the same for her. So you enter this relationship, and for me and her to speak life in each other, we are living in Goshen, and Joseph is alive. That means we are curious, we are interested, we are committed, we are present in our conversation. And that makes a difference in how we relate to one another. But the moment we let go of that, the moment we stop being curious, slowly the idea of curiosity dies. It fades away. And once we're no longer curious, interest also wears off. We're no longer interested in one another. We become buddy living together. I've lived with with mates before. We just wake up in the morning. I don't say whether they say good morning, they don't, it doesn't matter. We have chores that each and every one of us make sure that you don't leave dishes in the sink. You have to clean after yourself. So we're just passing by each other. There is no intimacy. There's no connection. We're just living there. I mean, it's convenience for paying the bills. The house is nice. That's it. I've been there. But most of you, that's how you're living with your partner. You're just roomies together. Nothing more. Sleeping in different beds. And you think that's normal. It's not normal. Nor should you normalize that. You should fight for your right. There's a song, I think it says, fight for your right. Bob Marley or something. I don't know who sang it. Don't throw stones at me. But before. So the reason your marriage is falling apart is because you stop being curious. You stop being interested. And because you stop being interested, you cannot find the partner interesting. And so you cannot do interesting things with the partner. And if you cannot do interesting things, everything else becomes usual as just regular. And when it's regular, then there is no value in the relationship. One will still have the hunger for it. And if you've normalized that, you are walking away, or you are growing far apart from your partner. So it is not you who is the problem. No, it is not the partner who is the problem, but it is the behavior, which I call Pharaoh, an assumption. Oh, I don't need to. I told people, I said, before I leave the house, I kiss my wife. And I tell her I love you. Before I leave the house. When I come back, even if it's at the grocery, there's a grocery store, just a 5-minute walk. And I like to walk, whether it's a summertime, fall time, winter time, springtime. The only time I don't walk is the rain time, because it's a 5-minute. I just dress up appropriately and walk. And it gives me a reason to walk anyway. So if I have to go there, I usually kiss her first. Then, I love you. And I walk out. When I come back, I go back again, I love you. Simple. And she will do the same to me. So I was telling this guy before, I said, this is what I do. He said, oh, that's a lot of work. I said, serious. You don't know how much I get back just for simple gesture of telling her I love you every time. My wife is always looking for interesting things that I'm interested in. And she trying to make them more interesting for me, whether it's food, whether it's movie, whether it's music. She's doing all of that because I am doing all of that too. Jesus said, give and it shall be given back. Equal measure, shake it, press it down, shake it together and overflow. You are always getting an amazing amount of that which you gave. If you think it's too much to do that to your spouse, I guarantee you guys are living like roommates. Connection is wearing off every single day. If anything, it is there probably just having sex for fulfillment, the urges. Or you feel like because then you end up for it. But really there is no connection. There's no intimacy. And that's the reality that most marriages faces. But if that situation is not changed or improved, and guess what happens? Eventually, the relationship will deteriorate because that which you are not attending to, you are going to lose. It will deteriorate so bad that it will not be worthy of keeping it anymore, and you will lose it. So you get to a point where a divorce comes. The reason there's a third divorce for the same person is because they still in Egypt. It doesn't matter how many times you get married while your mindset is still in Egypt. You will always carry Egypt with you wherever you go. A good friend of mine, or an old friend of mine, her mom used to say this simple statement. She said, behavior or habit is like a tail. No matter how hard you hide it, it will always wiggle even underneath the dress. That's the fact. As long as the mindset of Egypt remains with you, Pharaoh will continue to rule you no matter who you marry, no matter how many times. So my old good friend who had married twice and lost his marriage, he was under the rulership of Pharaoh, despite of having a stellar reputation publicly, despite of being a man of God, despite of all the credit he has. But he was still in Egypt. And the fact that he remained in Egypt, he could not produce anything more than that which Egypt produced, which is enslavement. So just because you change a spouse, a partnership, if you have not got rid of Egypt, you will continue to bring Egypt no matter where you go. And divorce is inevitable. And not only that, if no divorce, there will no peace. You might be married like that. A client of mine who said he'd been married for 30 years. but he doesn't remember a time when there was a happiness in their marriage. Very sad. 30 years of slavery. That's what that client was. And I met another lady that we talked, but she never became a client. She was in a marriage for about almost 20 years, about 19, 18, somewhere around there, at the time when I spoke to her. But she said the only time that her husband treated her kindly was when she was pregnant for their son. They only have one child. After that, which was the first year of their marriage, after that, all hell broke loose. He has beaten her, abused her verbally, have called her all kinds of names, have done everything that you can imagine to her. To a point when we were talking, she said they have a house, but she have a living quarter. Her bedroom, which was their bedroom, have become her living quarter. She have a microwave there. And in fact, over years, her health had deteriorated to a point she can no longer work. So she had, as a young age, she have Social Security because she cannot work. And because she cannot work, she received some government help, social, whatever it is, Social Security or something to that effect. But she's confined into a bedroom. And when she reached to me, she said she was thinking of divorcing, but she doesn't know if she does that, how it's going to look like, how she's going to do it. I said, it doesn't matter whether you divorce the man or not. You are in Egypt. You got to get out of Egypt first. And majority of the clients who came and say, I'm going to divorce my partner, especially they'd say, I'm going to divorce my husband. Or a husband who say, my wife is about to divorce me. I said, you got to get out of Egypt first. But no, let's not talk about her. You got to get out of Egypt first. Once you're out of Egypt, your behavior will be different. As an Israelite in Egypt will always behave as a slavery. And you are the very Israelite in Egypt. Israelite in the sense that there's a desire in you, a desire to be better than the best. And you can overcome that desire. So it is said you have overcome both God and men. You can overcome both. You can overcome the desire and make it a reality. It's possible. But first, you gotta come out of Egypt. You have to walk out of that mindset. And how do you do so? You do so through a 3I framework that I teach in my class. Idealize, introduce, and iterate. These are the 3 elements, if you can apply them, or 3 pillars of faith in action. If you do so, you have called the name of God in honor of God. That's what it is. You have called the name of God in honor of God, and therefore He will hear you and respond accordingly. You have done that which you've done in secret, and so therefore He will cause others to testify of that which you have done, which is call His name in that which you want to be saved on. So the first thing you idealize, you identify the emotional pain without concern yourself with who have done it. And then you think of its opposite emotion without concerning of yourself how it's going to become. So we're not discussing people, because Jesus said, if you have to come to my Father, you must come in spirit and in truth. Spirit is feeling, because it's animate life. It's life. It's a life-giving entity. That's what feeling is. But truth is a memory. That's why the Holy Spirit is called this truth of remembrance. Most of you didn't even recognize that. Holy Spirit is a spirit of remembrance. It is the ability to remember. Not that God is going to make you remember. You have to remember. So now we are identifying the opposite feeling. And we say, opposite feeling is, I want to feel at peace. I want to feel belonging. I want to feel a sense of community, union, a sense of love. I want to be able to laugh. I want to feel the laughter in the house. How does it feel to laugh? That's what I want to feel in my marriage. Fun. So you say that's the feeling. So you've idealized. Then you have to introduce that into yourself. And introduce, we are given the formula with Prophet Joel says, let the weak say I am strong. So let those who doesn't have say I have. That's all it means. So I don't have peace. I must say I am at peace in my marriage. I don't have happiness. I must say I have happiness. You don't only say it, you have to feel it, and you have to remember what it is to feel happy. No, if you don't, you've never been happy. Like that couple I told you that they've been married for 30 years and he doesn't remember the first day he was happy. Then you can think, you can watch TV, you can go on the internet and say, show me the video of people who are happy. You will find, so you remember that what you've seen as something that who you are now. A change of identity. You be before you can become. To be is to give. An equal measure will be given back to you. Shake it together, press it down, overflow. Those are the 3 stages that you will go through to experience it. It will be shaken together, meaning that it will come together in you. When it comes together in you, it's going to be pressed down. There's going to be a peace of mind. You will feel at ease. When you feel at ease, there's going to be an overflow, meaning that it will overflow into your experience. So the second step is introduce. You identify yourself as if you are. The third one is iterate, which means you are repeating that which you have heard. Repeat the second step over and over and over until you have that peace of mind. And when you have that peace of mind, don't stop. Keep doing it over and over until you see an overflow into your life. And it will come a time you will not need to forcefully remember. It will be natural that you are walking around and you just feel that joy. And maybe you are singing a song, it becomes a song that brings that memory back. Then if you can do that, then you have arrived at that place. It has been shaken together, it's been brought together, and it has been pressed down. That means it has sunk into your subconsciousness. You can experience it, you have that peace of mind, and you're just walking in as if, and people might say, oh, you just look happy. Yep, I look happy. That is what they say. You have been born again. You wonder, where am I? You are no longer the same person. And if you are a person who was miserable, hateful, a person who was broke, a person who didn't know how to have a good time in your marriage, and suddenly you look like you are. Guess what? You are born again, not by flesh, by spirit, meaning you have changed mentally. You have that peace of mind. You're walking with a smile in your face. You feel good. Everything else to you're not worrying anymore. You're not stressing out. Things have changed. And once things change to that extent, something else happens. Transformation follows. Transformation follows. And once transformation follows, guess what? You're going to start having life differently. That's what it is. So 3I is the tool that you can use to be able to transform your life. It's very simple. If you're sitting in a place where your relationship is not what you want, what you're experiencing, you have an opportunity to change. And this is your moment. This is your time to do so. And how do we change that? Very simple. You cannot do it yourself. You cannot do it alone because the evidence as it is today have demonstrated such. How do we do it? I have resources in the bottom where you can get additional resources for free in order to kickstart your journey. I have a booking. You can book a call on the descriptions below where you can be able to get access to me and we can talk one-on-one. All of these are yours to take advantage of. Always remember, this is not a solo journey. If it was, you would have already done it. No, it's not a doing yourself. If it was, you would have already bought the tools from a handy store and being able to fix it. It takes knowledge to know how to renew your mind in the most efficient way possible. And I will help you with that. Until then, Remember, it takes two to tango. It's not only your spouse, but also you. So change yourself so you can change your relationship. But at minimum, you can change yourself so you can get out of your Egypt before you get out of your marriage. And you'll be surprised when you get out of Egypt, your marriage will have a new perspective.